All right, what is going on, people? You know that sound. It is the Unfiltered Band meets another episode of Unfiltered coming your way, episode 103, calling this one Can't Buy BYE. Me love. Certainly cannot do that in a postseason. Momentum, not a thing. It is everything. Good to have you on board this thing. You can get on board the Unfiltered Revolution at Casey Stern on Twitter. Jump on board if you're already on there. Get into the bio, and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Watch and like all the videos and interviews and conversations and rants and all sorts of things throughout the first 102 episodes, now 103 here of Unfiltered. And just a reminder, as we tape this on Sunday, if you're listening on your podcast, Apple, Spotify, everywhere you get them, somewhere close to live, that on Monday, we will be live every day, excluding Wednesday this week, every other day, the remaining of the postseason at 12 Eastern, noon Eastern time. Live tomorrow, I've got Mark Feinstein coming on the show, Jeff Blum, Jim Duquette will be with me, break down all sorts of things from around the postseason. It has been bananas already. We know this much. On the National League side, the Philadelphia Phillies will travel to San Diego, of all places. Who would have thunk it? And play the Padres in Game 1 coming up on Tuesday night. That'll be on FS1. And then we know this, the Yankees, as we sit here now, as I do this, live to tape, if you will, are on the brink, down 2-1 in their series against the Guardians. The Astros, after sweeping the Mariners, will await the winner of that series to begin the ALCS. That coming up on Monday. I said this for weeks. If you listen to this show, look, I'm not trying to sit here and change anybody's life. I'm not trying to tell you I get everything right, because I don't. But sometimes, even a blind squirrel. I don't know how many different episodes I sat here and tried to explain to people on this show, week after week after week, down the stretch of the regular season into the postseason, the following: layoffs kill baseball teams. This has happened in October forever. I've often referenced the 2007 Rockies, the run they went on, win 21 out of 22, get into the postseason, they're rolling. They beat the Phillies, go beat the Arizona Diamondbacks and Brandon Webb with a Cy Young-like season. I think that might have been the year he actually won it. And they sweep them. Then they wait for the Red Sox, and they get wiped off the field. Jim Leyland with the Tigers, not once, one of the best managers ever, not once but twice dealt with a layoff, killing his team. The second time, going down to Florida to spring training to try and simulate live at-bats to get a little bit closer to getting his team ready. And the layoffs of those time periods, same amount of time. A couple longer than 5 days over the years that we've seen that have hurt teams, but 5 is enough. How many times did I say on this show that the Dodgers had not played a big game since that series with the Trumpets, which was way bigger for the Mets, that weekend series that ended on a Sunday Night Baseball game on ESPN, than it was for the Los Angeles Dodgers? Way bigger. For the Dodgers, it was just, a series we actually should pay some attention to, because they had literally waxed the division forever ago, seemingly. And all of the issues that they had in trying to mix and match a bullpen, all the issues that they had that you thought might come up at some point, despite all the wins and the run differential of 3 million, seemingly, although it was about 350, which might as well be millions, that it eventually could come back to haunt them, because in addition to not playing a big game forever, they would face a layoff that would hurt them. On this very show, I picked, when I thought the Mets would win the division, the Braves to beat the Dodgers in the first round. Then, when I found out the Braves had won the division, picked the Mets to beat the Dodgers in the first round. So I guess I was wrong twice, but it was the Padres. Don't know many other people had the Dodgers out in 5. You go everywhere where you could find me on Twitter on this show. I've had them out in 5 for months. How could I know? Here's how. Layoffs kill baseball teams in October. This format, when it came into play, you can go back into episodes with Mark Feinstein, with Steve Phillips. Those are just 2 that I remember mentioning this. And I asked them, and no offense to those are friends of mine, but everybody that I tried to bring it up to, everybody thought I was over-exaggerating a little bit. Well, yeah, I could have come up with something. It could mean something, but, hey, look, the other teams don't get to set up their rotations, and these teams get to set up their rotations. The other teams don't get to nurse injuries, and these teams get to nurse injuries. And all of that sounds great, but layoffs kill baseball teams in October. I have been saying this for months on this show. The San Diego Padres deserve all the credit in the world. The Philadelphia Phillies deserve all the credit in the world. Give them a ton. They pitched their asses off, especially those two bullpens. How good right now do the Padres and the Phillies look? 7, 8, 9. Even though in the Phillies case, it's like, really? Wait, who and how? It doesn't seem to matter, does it? They both have stars. When you think about the Bryce Harpers and the Schwarbers and the Sotos and the Machados and others I'm leaving out, not to mention Pinworm, who we're leaving out. So you got to give him credit for a number of things. The managing from Rob Thompson, what he has done. And what a job. I mean, who would have thought, look, Joe Girardi's a terrific baseball manager. Not what I would have predicted to happen, where, when you get rid of him, it'll all figure out. But Rob Thompson, a lifer, all those years with the Yankees and winning and being part of those staffs, certainly dude knows what he's doing. Do you not think so? Bo Melling had the Bo Mel with no money. Now he gets a Bo Mel with some players and some stars. Nobody should be surprised that that dude is in the postseason, that he's having success in the postseason. They both can pitch at the front end of the rotation. They have names. They have arms that can get outs and swings and misses. So please, by no means, understand, I'm not taking any credit away at all, from what the Phillies and the Padres have done. But I go back to it again. I've said it for weeks. I've said it for months. Go listen to the shows. Layoffs kill baseball teams in October. If Yordan Alvarez does not stop the momentum in game one of that series where Houston played Seattle, where the Mariners had the lead, where they had him right where they want him, seemingly dead to rights, and Alvarez, with everything on the line, backs against the wall, is able to come off with that walk-off to win. If he does not, and I'm not taking anything away at all from Houston either, who I picked to win the World Series, as I know many did, but before the season and before this in the postseason. But if Alvarez doesn't hit that home run, and that momentum does not shift back, and Seattle keeps it from where they took it, from where they had it with Game 7 mentality at the end of the season and into the postseason, we might be saying to the Astros, layoffs kill baseball teams in October. Hear me. The New York Yankees have something more than that going against them. Now, I understand everybody's going to get on Booney, and I don't understand the handling of why Schmidt's in there. And you can't tell me, only in an emergency. There is no emergency in baseball that's more emergency than your season and your asses are on the line. That's an emergency, and I love Booney as a friend, but that's just the reality, okay? Now, I don't know the talking behind the scenes. I don't know why it seems like there's contradictions. I don't know who said what in terms of whether Holmes was ready or what was spoken or how or all of that. I don't, okay? I've seen situations where I remember covering and being down there in the World Series with the Dodgers years ago. How the hell's Bellinger not in the lineup and Kike Hernandez is hitting third, and I like him, but I'm just saying, why wasn't Urias available? There was a year that they got knocked out in the World Series. I think it was the year by Houston, that Buehler couldn't go an inning. I couldn't understand that, and they ended up getting wiped in the pen because they didn't have guys available. That time, I think Baez in the Game 7, Urias, I think were both unavailable. They had used Maeda, who had, I think, at one point struck out 5 guys in a row during that series. It's all coming back to me now, as the song says. They couldn't use Buehler for an inning. Why? Was his arm going to fall off? I don't understand how those conversations go. I don't. But there's no more emergency than what that emergency was for the Yankees. Book it. But they are where they are because of 2 problems we knew were coming in. So in the situation of the Braves and the Dodgers, I'm sorry, I'm putting some of that in both cases on that layoff. Both. That Braves lineup, you see how they were in games that mattered all for 4 months, not just those series against the Mets where they took 6 of the last 7 they played in Atlanta, including those last 3 in a row. Nobody could get him out. Scherzer couldn't get him out. DeGrom couldn't get him out. Bassett couldn't get him out. No one could get them out. And I know the Phillies can pitch, but nobody could get him out. Made the Philly bullpen look like the 1998 Yankee pen. I'm telling you right now, those 2 layoffs kill baseball teams in October. The Yankees, Having no bullpen kills baseball teams in October. Having a lineup that is Aaron Judge, please save us, or we don't know what the hell we're going to get, kills baseball teams in October. Having a team that we forgot as we're watching Judge down the stretch try and do what he did was really not nearly as good a lineup as the Yankees usually have, not nearly deep enough a bullpen to do anything. As great as Cortez was and how great Severino was down the stretch in that final game where he had a no-hit bid and threw it to 7, and Garrett Cole's done what Garrett Cole needs to do. Stop getting on him, although we'll see now. Here he goes again in the spotlight. That's the dude you paid. That's the dude you want. But let me tell you something. The dudes you don't have are in that bullpen. You can't win without a bullpen. Back to Adrian and Rocky. You can't win. Layoffs kill teams in October. Having no bullpen. Having no idea where to go. Mixing and matching with starters because you don't got anywhere else. I don't mean after an 18-inning game. I don't mean after a doubleheader. I don't mean after a situation where a guy gets hurt and has to leave early or a guy gets shelled and has to leave early. I mean you went into a postseason mixing and matching, having no idea what the heck you were going to do. Those kind of problems kill you in October. Doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. We'll show that. Unfiltered. October Unfiltered. Live edition. Coming up on Monday afternoon, October 17th. It also happens to be my birthday. Send your gifts in the mail. 44, Reggie Jackson's number. Mr. October. See all the symmetry. Keep up with me at Casey Stern on Twitter. Thank you for all those who joined along the way in the Unfiltered Revolution and all of you who are with me on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. And I will see you for episode 104, a live edition, and throughout the course of the postseason, right here on Unfiltered.